Do you know what President Trump just took his most aggressive step yet against? Ordering the Pentagon to use the full force of the U.S. military against leaking out of the Pentagon. This isn't just an enemy anymore. No, Trump has labeled him. He's opened the door for direct military strikes on land and sea. Critics warning against legal challenges, international backlash, and murder accusations. Supporters say it's about damn time. America, what will they do? Because Trump says it's over. I'm done. Orders Pentagon to ready the military. Here we go, and this is the story I'll bring you in just 1 minute. Maybe you thought this story was on Russia and Ukraine. Oh, we're going to be talking about that soon enough. Because I think that story is about to come to an end, no matter what Zelensky wants out of the story. I'm not going to give up any land. He's going to have another thing coming, I promise you that. No, this story about something that Trump has talked about for a long time. But now the game's over. And it's based on something that has leaked out. Inconveniently, of course, as all the leaks are nowadays. New York Times puts out this article, Trump directs military to target foreign drug cartels. Written by the New York Times, the Mockingbird Media. The president has ordered the Pentagon to use the armed forces to carry out what in the past was considered law enforcement. Okay, we know right off the top what this slant is. President Trump has secretly signed a directive to the Pentagon to begin using military force against certain Latin American drug cartels that his administration has deemed terrorist organizations, according to people familiar with the matter. According to people familiar with the matter. Anybody who could read presidential executive actions, I guess. Designating cartels and other organizations as foreign terrorist organizations. I know it's difficult, I guess, for mainstream media to read. This was on January 20th of 2025. Maybe they just couldn't keep up, I guess. Specifically, designated global terrorists. So I'll help them along a little bit. The decision to bring the American military into the fight is the most aggressive step so far in the administration's escalating campaign against the cartels. No, because we're just going to put out executive orders and do nothing about them. Now, that would be the Biden administration. Just writing stuff on paper. Well, maybe not him writing it on paper. The auto pen writing it on paper. And doing nothing about it. Just putting words on paper and pushing it aside. No, there has to be actions behind words, or else they're just words. I know, again, it's tough to consume for some. Most aggressive step so far in the administration's escalating campaign against the cartels. It signals Mr. Trump's continued willingness to use military force to carry out what has primarily been considered a law enforcement responsibility to curb the flow of fentanyl and other illegal drugs. Just take that statement verbatim for one moment. It's law enforcement's responsibility to deal with fentanyl and other illegal drugs. Not stop it from entering the country, let it come into the country, and then make it law enforcement's problem. According to the New York Times. That is the most effective solution to stop the drug crisis. Because that's worked so well. But that's the assessment they want you to make. Because again, they haven't read executive actions, and this is coming as a shock to them. July 31st of 2025, not that long ago. You would have thought they would have kept up with this, but I know, again, difficult. Amendment to duties to address the flow of illicit drugs across our northern border. I mean, this was just an addition to stop the flow of fentanyl and other illicit drugs across the borders, because you would know that this was a priority of the administration. So, again, none of this should have come as a shock. It wasn't the duty, well, an additional duty. In addition to law enforcement stopping it, you'd need further assistance to stop the flow of it coming into the borders. And that also not only be done in the streets, not only be done at the borders, it should probably be done at the source, right? Just a thought. Difficult, isn't it? I know. Black and white news. This is how we like to do things here. Pretty simple. That's why I'm going to ask you a huge favor. Quickly, quick break. Before I continue destroying this article, can you double check for me? Make sure you're still subscribed to Lisa's channel. If you think you are, this is how we stop the algorithm. Make sure you are. If you're new here, we'd love you to subscribe. Welcome home if you're new here. Also, she'll put a link to my channel above. Love you to go over there. It's just two parts of our network. The main part of our network is something called, if you haven't heard of it, RestrictedRepublic.com. That's a platform Lisa and I own. We created, we control. It's our news platform. It's our very version of Fox News, except it's Lisa Haven and Justice Knight. We create it. We put content there daily, exclusive, and all our public content under one umbrella called RestrictedRepublic.com. All commercials, interruptions removed. Exclusive content daily. All the videos we're not comfortable putting anywhere else, we put there only. That's why we created Restricted Republic. We'd love you there today. It's a catalog. I promise you, you go there today, it's going to take you months on top of months on top of months to ever get through. And we keep adding to it every single day of the week. We'd love to have you there as part of our family. But now, let's get back to this broadcast because I have a lot more I have to say about this New York Times article. Where were we? The order provides an official basis for the possibility of direct military operation at sea and on foreign soil against cartels. The order provides an official basis. This order, this secret order given to call the military up, to get them ready. Literally, tell the Pentagon, get the military ready. We have a war we have to fight. Secret order. Possibility of direct military operations at sea and on foreign soil against possibility. Designation of international cartels, U.S. Department of State, February 20th of 2025, designating Trent de Aragua, Cartel de Sinaloa, CJNG, CDN, LNFM, DGN, CU, all the other cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. Do you think we were just putting that on paper and weren't going to do anything about it? We were just going to sit back, just designate them as foreign terrorist organizations and not do anything about it? And then act surprised and put out some article on the New York Times that we're going to suddenly use military force against this? Folks, don't be fooled, please. Please don't be hoodwinked by any of this. This is what they do. They pretend it's something larger than it actually is. The president has ordered the Pentagon to use the armed forces to carry out what in the past was considered law enforcement. So to stop people designated as foreign terrorist organizations, you're going to use law enforcement? Yeah, I've often seen, deputies and sheriffs put on planes, flown over to foreign countries to fight terrorist drug cartels. No, folks, that's never been done because those aren't the ones who do it. Ever. Just want to put everything in the context here. U.S. military officials have started drawing up options for how the military could go after the groups. Not something uncommon in our past, mind you. Something we always haven't been very good at or done a very good job at, or else this man wouldn't still be in power, and hence why now, I guess this time around, unlike last time around, we're allegedly now doing something about it. Hence Pam Bondi's new reward for $50 million. But didn't Bill Barr do something about this last time, right? Bill Barr, the man who on Restricted Republic, coming up shortly, we're going to do a little expose on the man who allegedly went after Trump. The man who's one of the biggest Beltway bandits ever. A lot to say on that. On Thursday, the Justice and State Departments announced that the United States government is doubling a reward to $50 million for information leading to the arrest of Mr. Maduro, who has been indicted on drug trafficking charges. The administration, again, described him as a cartel head and Attorney General Pam Bondi said he will not escape justice and he will be held accountable for his despicable crimes. And again, the New York Times is acting surprised that we've called up the Pentagon for military action against the cartels, who have been designated as foreign terrorist organizations, according to the executive actions that President Trump has put through many months ago. Unilateral military assaults on cartels would be marked an escalation in the long drive to curb drug trafficking, putting U.S. forces in a lead role on the front lines against often well-armed and well-financed organizations. Who are they rooting for? Because to me, it sounds like they might be rooting for the bad guys a bit. A sustained campaign would also likely raise further issues related to Mr. Trump's push to use the military more aggressively to back a variety of his policies, often in the face of legal and constitutional constraints. I think they're trying to wrap the border security bill into fighting foreign terrorist organizations. You see how they did that there? This is quintessential mainstream mockingbird media in action. And this is what I enjoy uncovering more than anything else in my career for you. This was a major article. Major article that goes to paint the administration as they're doing something wrong for protecting our children against illicit, illegal drugs and drug cartels. They're actually making it sound like the bad guys are the good guys here and that Trump is doing something bad against them. It's a sickness, isn't it? Because it's never been done in history before. Never. Not the Panama invasion. Oh, that's right. Bill Barr was involved in that too, wasn't he? Well, this man just has his fingerprints everywhere, doesn't he? Almost like he's been leading so much for so long that he controlled... never mind. Story for another day, I guess. So much... he's involved... again, Bill Barr. I can't wait to bring you this story. I really can't. Can you tell I don't like Bill Barr? If you can't, let me just say, I don't like Bill Barr. In the 1990s, very good reason, the U.S. military assisted Colombian and Peruvian anti-drug law enforcement activities by sharing information about civilian flights suspected of carrying drugs. After those governments, like radar data and communication intercepts, but after those governments started shooting down planes, the Clinton administration in 1994 halted the assistance for months, until Congress allowed the assistance to happen again, and so we started helping again. See, this is nothing new. But of course, when Trump does it, orange man bad. Prior administrations have done this forever, and it was okay. But Trump does it, orange man bad. But this is a surprise. Even though Marco Rubio already told you we would be doing this. August 7th, 2025, 2 days ago, interview. EWTN's interview with Marco Rubio. In Latin America, as terrorist organizations, how did that change the way the interaction between these cartels in the United States, and who made that decision? How did the president come to that? Well, Marco Rubio says we can't treat these guys as local street gangs with local law enforcement. I added that. They have weaponry that looks like what terrorists use. In some case, they have armies. And what do you fight armies with? You fight military with militaries. I know. It's a leap of faith, huh? Those cartels extend from the Maduro regime in Venezuela. And who did they just put a reward against? That's right. Maduro. I know. People don't follow this, at least in mainstream media. It's always there for you. They just don't like to sew it together for you. They want to make it seem so conspiratorial. But they've told you exactly what they're going to do and when they're going to do it. And they've generally always telegraphed what they're going to do. It's not as shocking as the mockingbird media wants it to seem. Sorry, not sorry. All the way to the various different cartels that operate in Mexico, and in between you can find them in Ecuador, you can find them in Guatemala, you can find TDA, what people would call street gangs, but actually are operating in criminal enterprises. It's no longer a law enforcement issue. It becomes a national security issue. In case you needed it any more black and white, New York Times, it is no longer a law enforcement issue. it becomes a national security issue. Just asking for a friend. Did you not read Marco Rubio's statements? I know it's journalism. It's very difficult when you're always trying to just give one side of the story. It's got to be so hard to just selectively not acknowledge actual facts. To target these group of people, if we have an opportunity to do it, we have to start treating them as armed terrorist organizations, not simply drug-dealing organizations. And how do you do that? You have to call the Pentagon to use military force. Shock, not shocked. Trump wanted to fire missiles in Mexico. Now the GOP wants to send troops. Article, for years they've done this. They want to make it appear as if it's a bad thing. Rear Admiral General McPherson. It's a major breach of international law to go after terrorist organizations. How many administrations have gone after terrorist organizations? Oh, that's right. Orange Man bad. That's right. I forgot. And how do we know it's going to have an impact? Because just moments after this story is leaked, after the New York Times reveals a secret executive order from Trump to the Pentagon for U.S. military operations against cartels at sea and on foreign soil, Claudia Sheinbaum maintained that the United States will not invade Mexico. In this press conference, she states, "We cooperate, collaborate, but there will be no invasion." That is off the table. Absolutely off the table. Do you think so? They're designated foreign terrorist organizations. Their drugs are killing billions on top of billions of U.S. citizens. Our president has told you explicitly that if you don't aid in stopping the trafficking of those drugs into the great republic of the United States of America, that we will take actions into our own hands because it might as well be a foreign invasion army coming into our country. Pretty black and white. And so New York Times, you could try to spin this any way you want. But our job here is to make it just a little bit more black and white than that, because it's really not that complex. You mess with the great people of the great Republic of the United States of America with your horrific drugs that are laced with chemicals that are killing our great people. It is the job of our great president of the United States of America to activate this great military of ours and use the full force of that military to prevent the death of millions of Americans. Because he told you he was going to. It's not something he's hiding. So please don't spin it any other way, as if this is some secret as you made it sound in your article. There's been nothing made secret about this effort. I love you all. Have a beautiful weekend. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.